All right, everybody, welcome to the latest edition of my podcast show, as I come to do. I'm Ron Gridiron. I will be the host. I appreciate you guys being part of my podcast show. First off, I want to give a shout out to Stephen A. Smith, Draymond Green, PG-13, Paul George for doing their podcast show, Mookie Betts, Mina Kimes, L. Duncan, and the crew doing their podcast show. All right, I want to. Anyway, my podcast show is sponsored by Gatorade. Gatorade Thirst Quench. Is it in you? Time for Straight Talk, presented by Metro PCS. Spent for best deals, nada yada yada, for your first phone and for the first bill of the month. All right, let's get right to it. We have, first off, I want to start off with football. I want to get back to what happened on Sunday with the Cleveland Browns losing to the Cincinnati Bengals. And what struck me the most is when the Cleveland Browns fan base was cheering that Deshaun Watson got hurt and the fans were cheering. I mean, that's cruel. And I want to put it out there. Everything that Jameis Winston said, I agree. I totally agree. I just did not have the nerve to watch the game in London, England between the Jaguars and the Patriots because I don't know how horrible they are. I want to put that out there. When I watched the Jets and the Steelers, they did the Bears, actually not the Bears. I'll get to the Bears in a second. Steelers did what they had to do to beat the Jets. Russell Wilson played a heck of a game. And I agree with Stephen A. I think Aaron Rodgers should retire for most of the time at this time. And I know for a fact that, like, why? Well, I mean, like, why? I mean, like, why Aaron Rodgers? I thought he had something to prove. I thought he did, but he don't. But I don't think he had. I don't think he has it. Whatever he had left with from Green Bay is gone. It hurts me to say, but I have to say it anyway. But plus, he has to retire. The Buffalo Bills, they did their job against the Tennessee Titans, but we all know that it was no contest. Can we can we say um can we say about Will Levis? A guy who does commercial for mayonnaise. Come on now. You're trying to come in with swag like you can't even bring swag. Come on, man. I mean, the first game of the season when you played against the Bears, you threw that trying to be like Brett Favre. I mean, come on, you ain't Brett Favre, and you lose to the Chicago Bears. They bust your living, you know what? I just want to say, like, the Chicago Bears, they're doing tremendous out there. And shout out to the people of ESPN doing their thing. Stephen A, Molly, Shay Shay, and the crew. But the one thing I'm happy about, I'm excited about, two things: the NBA season opener and the World Series on Friday night. I know Stephen A. Smith has got to be excited that his New York Yankees is in the World Series. Hopefully, First Take will talk about it with Jessica Mendoza on Friday night, no Friday morning on ESPN on First Take. Make sure you check it out. 10 o'clock in the morning till 12 p.m. in the afternoon. The first thing I want to say, when I thought about doing a podcast show, I pay attention to people like Draymond Green, Paul George doing his podcast show. I pay attention to people like Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson. They got their podcast show. LaShawn McCoy and Deshaun Jackson, former Philadelphia Eagle players. They just got their own podcast show. Well, since I'm a Special Olympic athlete in the state of New Jersey, how about I can create a podcast show? I just know for a fact that the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, Doug Peterson, his coaching job right now is in jeopardy. He's on the hot seat right now, and he can't. I don't see that confident. I don't see that swag that he brings when he beat the LA Chargers in a playoff game coming back from a deficit. I just don't see it. But what I'm saying is, I'm not seeing it from players. I don't see like the confidence that they were bringing. And I know Courtney Crowell is somewhere watching my podcast show. I could tell you straight up that the Chicago Bears could clinch a playoff spot if they can continue to build that momentum. I believe in Caleb Williams. I believe the pieces he has around him. But will it come into play? And I want to give a shout out to the people of NBA Today. Excuse me. I want to give a shout out to NBA Today with Malika Andrews, Ramona Shelburne, Chine Umake, Kendrick Perkins, Richard Jefferson. Shout out to the NBA Countdown crew with my boy Stephen A. Wilbon, the Godfather Wilbon, um, Bob Myers, the former owner of the Warriors. You know, Stephen A., I agree with you. I do believe that the New York Knicks with Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns has a shot of going to the NBA championship. And they made and the Knicks did push it to a game 7 against Indiana. But now their injuries are healed. They're ready. If they make the playoffs this time, if the Knicks make the playoffs again, I know the Knicks are going to make the playoffs again because the team that they want to face again is Indiana to get that revenge. They want that revenge against Indiana. And I can guarantee you this time it's going to be different and it's going to be a whole different. It just doesn't get better than this. But now in the injury report on the 76ers, Paul George and Joel Embiid is not going to play. Tomorrow against Milwaukee. And we all know Chris Middleton from the Milwaukee Bucks, he's not going to play. I know Giannis and Damian Lillard, they're going to play. But look for them to step up until Chris Middleton comes back. But the pressure is on Dame Time and the Greek Freak. I mean, the pressure's on them, but there's no pressure on the Knicks because the New York Knicks knows what they got to do. Because whoever they play, they're going to go through. Because I know they have the Indiana Pacers on their schedule to play against, and I know they're going to win that playoff rematch. They're going to beat them at home in Madison Square Garden, which I know Stephen A. will be there to watch and witness. But I love the acquisition of OG Anunoby playing some great defense. I know John Starks, Larry Johnson, Grandmama will be there. Marcus Camby, Latrell Sprewell will be there. Xavier McDaniel will be there. And Anthony Mason, God rest his soul. I know he's there in heaven right now watching this New York Knicks team play hard as much as they play hard as great basketball. When Anthony Mason was with the Knicks, Pat Riley called him up to play defense. And that's who Anthony Mason was. The workhorse off the bench. I honestly know that whoever the New York Knicks have, there's going to be there's going to be a lot a whole lot a whole lot of a whole lot of momentum. But I could say, excuse me, I mean, sooner or later, I will get support from the ESPN family. Hopefully, I can get support from Stephen A. Smith, my brother from another mother. Hopefully, I get support from Mina Kimes, L. Duncan, Andrea Carter, Chineu McKay, Malika Andrews, Ramona Shelburne, Molly Karam, Shannon Sharp, a Hall of Famer, three-time Super Bowl champion. Hopefully I'll get a lot of support, get support from Christine Williamson, Shay Cornett, Hannah Storm, Courtney Cohen, and Kimberly A. Martin. Hopefully I'll get support from Laura Rutledge at this point. I mean, I hope everyone from ESPN will accept me with my work as a podcast show host, and I just can't think negativity, but I just got to think positive. I just hope I believe they will accept me. Maybe one day, you know, I'll talk. Maybe I'll get involved into speak into a talk show, and you know, if you have a question, if you have a question, leave a question. I will answer them. If you want to leave a donation of how much money you want to leave for me, I will accept them. So we let's get back to the swing of things. First off, I want to introduce the people of ESPN. I want to introduce myself. My name is Iron Gordine. I'm a I'm a Special Olympic athlete. I compete in track and field, bowling, now basketball and softball. Um, I'm a three-time state champion, two-time state in basketball. I'm a two-time state finals MVP, six-time league MVP, nine-time scoring champion. I mean, Michael Jordan has like more scoring titles than I do, and I'm a great athlete in Special Olympics. I'm a great great competitor, and I want to create something special on YouTube. Create create something for my brand and for my community. You know, built the foundation on my podcast show. So people of YouTube, Feel free to leave questions out. I will answer them to you. I'll give you leave questions out. I will answer them. You can also leave donations, money. Doesn't matter how much money you give me. Maybe 20, maybe 20, 50, 30, 50, or 100. I will accept, or 100, 30, or 50, or 100. I will accept them. I will accept your donations. No doubt about this one. And I will appreciate the fans. So, switch gears. Did you guys see my New York Yankees pull it off against Cleveland? They did a tremendous job. A tremendous job out there. The Yankees pulled it off. They did exactly what they said what they did. What they were going they did exactly what they did exactly what they did out there. Even though the crowd in Cleveland was getting louder, but Juan Soto was able to quiet the crowd with that home run. This is what I expect the Yankees to do. Rise to the occasion and play good baseball. I honestly say that the Yankees can win the World Series this year to win World Series number 28. They're going to do it. I honestly say that there is a point of time. There's a point of time. It's going to be a great series, a fall classic. I need Garrett Cole to pitch his butt off. You got the New York Liberty winning a WNBA championship. Can you imagine the Yankees win the World Series championship? You get a second New York team, a New York franchise winning a championship. And the Yankees win their 28th, which is their all-time World Series championship. I pray every day that the Yankees can win the World Series for a 28th time. Because we haven't won the World Series in 2009, as Stephen A. said. I could basically say it, but that's how I feel. I can say it's a. I can say it, but this is the time to do it. The time's now. And I want to give a shout out to Mina Kimes, who's doing a tremendous job on the Mina Kimes show featuring Lenny. I love that. I love that work. I love the work. I wish I was the guest of the show. I wish I was the guest. And I want to give a shout out to Courtney Crowan, who contribute a lot on ESPN, even on Sports Center, Around the Horn. First Take. She's doing a great job on it. I want to give a shout out to Malika Andrews. She's doing a great job on NBA Today and on NBA Countdown. I want to give a shout out to Elle Duncan, doing great on Sports Center. NBA WNBA Countdown with Chiney Umake, Andrea Carter, Carolyn Peck, Monica McNutt. I want to send my condolence to them, send my support to them. As long as the as long as the WNBA league, since the NBA men can win championships, women can win championships too. I want to say that because we can all win championships, men and women. Because us men, we can't play that physicality anymore. And I want also on the NFL Live crew, I want to give a shout out to Laura Rutledge. Laura, keep doing your thing. Keep doing your thing, Laura. Ryan Clark, Super Bowl champion, the co-host of The Pivot. Keep doing your thing on The Pivot. I love it. You'll always be a Pittsburgh Steeler, RC. Swagoo, Ryan Clark. Marcus Spears. Sorry. Marcus Spears, Swagoo. You have a sense of humor, buddy. I love it. I'll never forget on Big Man Ballin' when you made Laura Rutledge laugh when you said I'm on Jeffrey Simmons. Yeah, on Jeffrey Simmons, the defensive player of the Tennessee Titans at the time. When you saw his highlights on Big Man Ballin', the one thing that you make Laura laugh when you said, I'm gonna name him Himothy Johnson III, and when you said that, Marcus Spears, that made Laura Rutledge laugh. It really did, Marcus Spears. I'll never forget that. That made me laugh, Swagoo. I want to say thank you for that. Dan Orlovsky, when it comes to Touchscreen Tuesday with you and Ryan Clark, I love how you analyze what went wrong and what teams did wrong and what they need to build upon. I love that, Dio. And I remember you said this when you were a quarterback, when you played backup for Peyton Manning, and a coach sent a play in your helmet. You said you're going to throw it to this guy, you're going to throw it to this guy, you're going to throw it to this guy. I want to give a shout out to Get Up crew on ESPN, Greeny, Rex Ryan, D Wood, Damian Woody. Damian Woody, I love how you speak. You speak with your mind, and you see things wrong. I mean, that's not total nonsense. And I agree with what you said about Nick Sirianni being a clown. And when he brought his two kids on the press conference acting nonchalant and showing off for his kids. Talking about nothing's wrong. We're fine. And I love the way you lashed out on Robert Saleh, the head coach, who spoke nonchalant about the penalties. And this year, when the Ravens lost the first two games, Damien Woody, you're right. You're right. When you said, why are you not giving the ball to Derrick Henry? And Rex Ryan was right. When he was the coach of the Jets and Damien Woody was playing for Rex Ryan, and he said when their opponent was being all full at the line of scrimmage, they're going to pull some big guys there, leaving one wide receiver up there, and run the ball down their throat. I also want to give a shout out to the people doing first Sports Center, L. Duncan, Nicole Briscoe, Hannah Storm, the great Hannah Storm, who, by the way, did a great job on NBA on NBC with Marv Albert. Bob Costas, the czar of the telestrator, Mike Fratello, Irvin Magic Johnson, Dick Amber, Quinn Buckner, Ahmad Rashad, Jim Gray, and Doug Collins, Isaiah Thomas, John Sally, Peter Vesey. I tell you what, Hannah Storm, you will always be on NBA on NBC. That is a blessing. And also Steve Jones. Hannah Storm, when the first time I saw you on NBA on NBC, you have that confidence. Because the first time you did a sideline reporting with Ahmad Rashad during that Knicks-Bulls rivalry matchup in the Eastern Conference Finals, Ahmad Rashad was working with the Chicago Bulls, and you was doing on the sidelines for the New York Knicks. Excuse me? And you did a phenomenal job, Hannah Storm. I got to give you that. And Hannah Storm, I got to say, you and all the other people that worked for NBA on NBC, you guys are great, are true legends. So I want to say thank you for making my childhood a true moment. Thank you. But now the new people, Andrea Carter, contributing so much for ESPN. Andrea Carter, you have an incredible future with ESPN. I love it. I love it. I want to give a shout out to Andrea Carter, because she has the knowledge. She has the knowledge of women's basketball. So do you, Chiney Umake, Rebecca Lobo, who played in the WNBA, in the New York Liberty. I started watching Rebecca Lobo play in the WNBA when the season started. I saw her, Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Dawn Stanley, and they were part of the team. They were part of Team USA, and they won gold medal. From the first time I watched the season of WNBA after Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen won their fifth NBA championship with the Chicago Bulls, I saw right off the bat the WNBA season. And they weren't playing, and they didn't play physical like us. And the first time I saw Lisa Leslie dunk the basketball, I was amazed. I also want to say to Courtney Crowan, who also contributes to ESPN, she has an incredible future in the ESPN family. Also, she is a great sideline reporter for the Chicago Bears. And to all the people of ESPN, guys like Shay Cornett, Nicole Briscoe, they got a future on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith, the veteran, a legend. Make sure you check out his podcast show, the Stephen A. Smith Show, on Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays. His podcast show is number one. I could tell you that right now. I don't have that swag like he does. Because I would say I'm telling you right now, Stephen A. Smith has a podcast. He totally does. Because the first time I watched the Stephen A. Smith Show, I watched it on ESPN News. I did. And Stephen A., I want to be the first to say that I'm proud of you, and you have that confidence to create something. The Stephen A. Smith Show, I got to admit, Stephen A., it's the best. It is the greatest of all time. Also, I want to point that out, Stephen A. Also, I didn't forget Mad Dog Russo. I love his segment on First Take on Wednesdays. What are you mad about? You know, Stephen A. You know, Stephen A. As long as the Stephen A. Smith Show stays on top while you're doing First Take and you're doing great things, that makes you a legend, like everyone. The face of ESPN, the face, and you're the face of the franchise, and you're the extension of the brand. And so is Molly. So is Shannon Sharp, Chiney Umike, Malika Andrews, and the crew. And Laura Rutledge, she's also the extension of the brand. Mad Dog Russo, I got to give him credit. Even though he has Mad Dog XM radio, I love his segment on First Take, What Are You Mad About? My favorite moment on What Are You Mad About when Molly, it was Molly, Mad Dog, Courtney Crowan, and Kimberly Martin. When he was showing the highlights, actually the one thing he was mad about when John Carlos, the year before when the Yankees didn't make the playoffs, when they played the Astros in the afternoon game, I saw Giancarlo Stanton not hustling down, and Mad Dog was like, "Look at the wave," by Miguel Rojas. And then Kimberly A. Martin cracked up laughing. So did Courtney Crowan. Mad Dog, that made my day. I'm not gonna lie. And the one thing you made the whole people on First Take laugh on when you talked about Fat Rob, and then you said that idiot, and that made Stephen A. Swagoo and Kimberly A. Martin laugh. You literally got Kimberly A. Martin on her knees laughing, chuckling so hard. So Mad Dog, do your thing, buddy. I would say I'm gonna give it. Also, want to give a shout out to Kimberly Martin, doing one awesome work on ESPN, and she's speaking her mind. And I also want to give a shout out to Christine Williamson, especially when she the part when she when they were talking about the divisional playoff game between Green Bay and San Francisco with Damian Woody, Chris Canty, and Stephen A. was licking his lips, mock, and then like LL Cool, because Canty was disrespecting LL Cool J. He was trying to refer to him to Jordan Love, and then Christine Williamson just bust out laughing. I want to give a shout out to all the people of ESPN, you know, doing a phenomenal job. First, shout out to the people of First Take, Get Up, NFL Live, NFL Countdown on Sunday and Monday. Monday night, Troy Aikman, Hall of Famer, Joe Buck. Thank you for calling football games. I want to say thank you. Also, I want to say thank you for calling New York Yankee games over the years. I want to say thank you for that. Also, I want to give a shout out to the people of NFL Live, for making my day well. Around the Horn crew, Pardon the Eruption, Mike Wilbon, Tony Kornheiser. Keep doing your thing. People on Sports Center, L. Duncan, Hannah Storm, uh, Christine Williamson. Keep doing your thing, everybody. ESPN ain't going nowhere. Neither is ESPN2 or ESPN News or ESPN Plus. I could tell you right now. This is a this is gonna be once in a lifetime. One day when I get to speak, one of the one of the biggest names on ESPN. Hopefully, I'll talk to Mina Kimes and talk about football, and hopefully, I'll get to talk to the studio at on ESPN Chicago. Maybe I'll talk to Courtney Crowan. May hopefully, hopefully I'll you know talk about sports. Talk to Malika Andrews and the crew on NBA Today. Once again, I want to give a shout out to all my fans. I want to give a shout out to ESPN crew for 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 giving me the opportunity to do the things that you're doing, like Stephen A. And everyone else is doing, like podcast shows and stuff. I want to continue doing what I'm doing. So, guys, I want to say I'm blessed. I'm not lucky. I'm blessed to be a man and to be a hardworking person. And I also want to thank I want to give a shout out to my family. I want to give a shout out to all my friends that inspired me. My family inspired me to be educated and to be a confident person. So I want to give a shout out to everybody. I want to give a shout out to all the people of ESPN. I want to give a shout out to First Take, NFL Live, and NBA Today, Around the Horn, Pardon the Interruption, Sports Center, WNBA Countdown, and all the shows I've watched. I want to give a shout out to everybody. I want to say thank you and keep me on my feet, keep me and stay athletic. So I want to say God bless you and thank you for making me the man that I am today. Anyway, this is my sports podcast show. Once again, I'm Iron Gradine. Once again, if you have a question about what sport event coming up, I'll leave a question, leave your questions. I will answer them all. I'll answer them one at a time. Leave donations out, money. I will accept them. I will definitely accept them. I will accept your questions, your donations. I will accept them all. This is the Sports Podcast Show, and catch me catch me on the podcast show on YouTube every day. and I will speak to you about sports, basketball, football, hockey, and a World Series. Once again, this is Iron's podcast show. Catch me catch me on YouTube, and I'll see you later. Till then, have a good day.